we turn our attention to the topic of variation, and the first two types of variation will be that of direct and inverse variation. First thing we do is learn the equations that go along with each. With direct variation, we begin with a base equation of y equals kx. And with inverse variation, our base equation is y equals k over x. K is called the constant of, and it's either called the constant of variability or it's the constant of proportionality, depending upon the book that you're looking at or the teacher you're talking to. Now, with direct variation, we say that x and y increase or decrease together. Key word there is together. And with inverse variation, I'm going to say as x increases, y decreases, and vice versa along with that. Let me show you by an example what I'm talking about. Let's pretend that k is equal to 5. And let's let x be a very large number like a billion. 5 times a billion makes 5 billion. Both x and y are large together. If I substitute in x equals 1 billionth times 5, we get 5 billionths. Both are tiny together. Now, still using k equals 5, let's let x be a billion here. 5 divided by a billion gives us 5 billionths, whereas x is very large, y is very tiny. And if I let x be 1 billionth, dividing by a fraction, you end up multiplying by the reciprocal, you get 5 billion coming out. So tiny x, large y. They both have an opposite thing going on. Now, we're going to go through this 4-step process that you're about to see as I slide this up here, where first we identify the type of variation. This will almost always be given to you, and we're going to write our base equation. That's what I did for you up above. You're then going to solve for k, given the clues that you've got, and then you're going to use the value of k to write a base equation again and solve for the value they asked you to solve for. Let's just dive in and see what we're talking about. Y varies directly with x. Automatically I can write y equals kx. Anytime you see the word varies, that can be substituted for the letters equals k. Y equals k directly with the x. Then y is 10, substitute 10 in, when x is 2. Dividing each side by 2, we get k is equal to 5. Sometimes we just stop there, finding the constant of proportionality. Other times we continue on. That's what we're doing this time. We rewrite our general equation with k substituted in, y equals 5x, and we use it to find y when x is 14. Substituting in 14, we multiply and find that y is 70. A rather straightforward problem that we have there. In this next problem, we have inverse variation. Y varies, there's my equals k, inversely, which tells us division, divide by k. Now y is 6, we'll substitute that in when x is 10, and multiplying each side by 10, we now get 60 for k. We can substitute that in and write the general equation 60 over x, and then use it to find y when we substitute in 8 for x. Dividing each by 4, we get 15 over 2. If you want to write that as a decimal, we could have that as 7.5.